What's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Last Take Sports Podcast.
And in today's episode, we will be getting into our college football playoff predictions as well as our Heisman prediction. And we already came at you with all of our Power Five predictions, and now we're kind of piecing all of that together and seeing the results of the college football season, or at least our predictions of it. So, anyway, let's jump right into it. And Henry, let's hear it. Let's hear what your college football playoffs is looking like right now, 1 through 4. Maybe start off with 4.
Yeah, Andrew, I think that's a good idea. I'm going to start off with my fourth team. And if you've listened to our other two podcasts about our college football playoff predictions, it's pretty easy to piece together what me and Andrew both have, but we're going to say them one by one. So at 4, at 12-1, and the Pac-12 champion, I have the Washington Huskies, led by Michael Penix. I think this team is going to be very good. Overall, probably the best team in the Pac-12, especially on offense. I think the talent from the receiving core and Penix's ability to be dynamic down the field will make this team one of the best teams in college football. At number 3, I have Florida State coming from the ACC, 12-1. I think this team is probably the most underrated team in college football. Everybody's basically written them off for this upcoming game against LSU, and I think they're going to actually win that game, as I've mentioned in the last podcast. I think Jordan Travis is one of the most dynamic overall players in all of college football. With the addition of Keon Coleman and other receivers that they already have coming back, this team could be very special offensively. I think the ACC is overall down aside from Clemson and UNC, so they should be able to run the table for the most part. And I think they're able to sneak one out against Clemson. And honestly, I think this team is overall just very talented. At number 2, I have Michigan at 13-0. No, 12-1. Sorry. They had the loss to Michigan State that I had them losing.
Right.
But this team, I think, might be the best team in college football, top to bottom. I think offensively with Donovan Edwards, with Blake Corum, JJ McCarthy coming back for his second year as a starter, that offensive line is probably the best unit in all of college football. I think this team might just be the best team in all of college football this year. Now they find a way to lose at Michigan State, but that's just because I'm a homer. But honestly, this team could run the table and go 15 and
You can
0.
respect the confidence in the home team, Henry. I feel like everyone listening can respect that, but I don't know, man. I mean, like you said, Michigan's one of the best teams, top to bottom,
Yeah.
if not the
That,
best team in the country. But let alone, I have to respect it. Anyway,
and number 1, Andrew, I have Alabama 13-0, winning the SEC. Georgia at 12-1 was probably my fifth team out, or first team out at 5. And from there, it didn't really matter at that point. I think Notre Dame might have been, I think I had Notre Dame at 11-1 at 6th. But quite honestly, I think that Alabama, regardless of who plays quarterback, is going to be very good this year. They're down on talent in both the receiving core and in the running back, but I think defensively this team is going to be improved from last year, even with all the losses. I think this is a bounce back year for Nick Saban in Alabama, and I honestly think that this is going to be one of his most underrated teams.
yeah, Henry, I don't hate any part of your top 4, but mine is completely different. And that's I think kind of the theme of what's going on here is that this year it doesn't seem like there's just a team that is that much better than the rest of the competition. Like it doesn't seem like it's like Alabama coming in previous years and they're just so much better compared to every other team in the SEC, or Georgia coming in, they're just so much better than every team in the SEC. I really think that there are a lot of teams, even in the Big Ten, Pac-12. There's just an ACC. I mean, pretty much every Power Five conference, aside from the Big 12, has like 3 or 4 teams at the top, which could seriously win the conference. So that's, I think, really interesting going into this year. Anyway, my top 4 right now, I have at number 4, Texas at 12-1, Big 12 champs. See, I was debating on, actually, you know what? I'll talk about this after. At number 4, I have Texas at 12-1, Big 12 champs. And then at number 3, I have USC at 12-1, Pac-12 champs. And then at number 2, I have Ohio State, 12-1, Big 10 champs. And then at number 1, I have LSU at 13-0, SEC champs. And hear me out. All right. I want to talk about number 4 specifically with Texas at 12-1. Right now, I have Michigan at 11-1 with Ohio State getting the bid into the conference championship game. And what I do have to say about that is that I think Michigan is better than Texas. I do. I think Michigan's a better football team than Texas. I have Michigan at 11-1, Texas at 12-1. There's no way you can leave out the Big 12 champion in replace for Michigan. I know last year they put
And
Ohio
especially
State
because it's Texas too.
right.
Texas
And
isn't
Texas, I mean, they've been itching for a season. They've been itching for a season.
If it was TCU, I think they might do it. I think Michigan would possibly get in
Right.
over.
I mean, last year you saw Ohio State get in while not even getting a bid into their
Yeah, but there was
championship.
also really no comp. Like at that point, everybody else had
Right.
2 losses.
Yeah. Yeah. And I guess this scenario is different because I have more one-loss teams
Penn State,
compared
you
to
had 11-1 too.
Penn State. I had 11-1. Oregon, who I think is very good, I had them at, I believe, 11-2, losing in the conference championship game to USC.
Clemson, you had 11-2, winning their conference.
Clemson, I had 11-2, winning the ACC. I mean, there's a lot of teams grouped in there, and Oklahoma. I mean, granted, I had them losing to Texas 2 times in the season, but those were their only 2 losses I had for them at 11-2. So there's a lot of teams up there, but
Did you have Alabama at 11-1 too? And Georgia?
I had Alabama and Georgia at 11-1 as well.
Yeah, exactly.
With,
So like
with neither of them making their conference.
So you have no Alabama, you have no Georgia, and no Michigan.
Correct. I have a lot of top heavy teams, and that's kind of what you see going on.
That's unbelievable.
And yeah, and college football, the fun part about college football is the upsets that you see throughout the year. Personally, I don't know if I'm playing that much into a factor. I'm really just looking
pick any. You have everybody good.
That's not true. I mean, I have LSU at 13-0.
Okay, you have good teams upsetting other good teams, but like
here we go.
There's no you don't have an unranked.
Yeah, no, I'm not having the Kansas Jayhawks beating Texas, Henry. I'm not
Michigan State beating Michigan. So like, yeah, but Kansas,
I don't.
Kansas is beating Texas.
Because the good, and I know, and I understand the good teams the better teams don't always win. But I'm looking at these games and I don't know, I can't physically see these terrible teams beating these top teams. I can't see it. It might happen. I'm not saying it's not going to happen. I just can't predict that. I can't.
Your number 1 team is LSU.
My number 1 team is LSU, Henry. Absolutely right. And I think that their defense is going to show up this year and be one of the best defenses in the country. And not trying to spoil anything, but I really like their quarterback, Henry. I really like Jaden Daniels. I do. I like him. I think he's going to show up. He showed up last year, and I think he's going to show up again with an even better year. But there are a lot of teams, like I said, that are getting left out of my playoffs that I think could be better than other teams in the playoffs. But those teams didn't win when it matters. That's what you have to do to get into the playoffs. You have to win the big games. You have to win when it matters on the highest stage. And I think those 4 teams, Texas, USC, OSU, and LSU, are able to get it done. Now that we're done sharing our playoffs, do you want to get into what you think your semifinals and final matchups are going to look like? Who you think is going to win it all?
Yeah, Andrew. So if you were keeping track, my matchups are Alabama and Washington. And then I have Michigan and Florida State. And I think the top seeds prevail. I think you get an Alabama and Michigan national championship game. And after all I've said, Michigan is my pick to win the national championship. For anybody listening to this might be one of the craziest takes me personally has ever made in my entire life. So I want you to bookmark this, Michigan fans.
The team that's going to lose to Michigan State
is winning the national championship.
Winning the national championship.
Correct. Michigan State is going to be the only team to beat the national champions this year. I'll stop there.
You know what? I feel like that's a storybook ending for both programs in Michigan. That's as good as it gets.
It's a great finisher as we move into the Big Ten / Pac-12 years.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And Henry, let me go through mine. So I have number 1 LSU versus number 4 Texas. I have LSU winning again, 14-0, baby. You got LSU moving on, beating Texas. I just don't think Texas defensively will be able to keep up with LSU. I think their offense is just going to get stuck. And then their defense won't be able to make enough stops down the stretch to pull away in that game. So I have LSU winning that one. And then at the 2-3 matchup, I have OSU versus USC. And I have USC coming out. I have Caleb Williams. You got to trust the quarterback. I have Caleb Williams coming out on top of that one in USC. I feel like that's going to be a shootout, that game.
Really see where this is going.
Better quarterback wins. So I got LSU, number 1
Oh.
LSU versus number 3 USC.
Oh no.
Henry, who do you think? 14-0 LSU versus 13-1 USC. Who do you think I got winning the national championship? Just take a guess. Take a guess.
I mean, considering who I think your Heisman might be, I think it's going to be LSU.
And you're wrong.
No chance you have USC winning the national championship.
USC.
Oh
the
my
national
God.
championship. Book it.
Oh my Lord.
Caleb Williams goes out a champion, and he will be the number 1 overall pick in the NFL draft.
No, he's coming back. He said he hasn't made up his mind.
Oh my God. Yeah. And I haven't decided what I'm gonna eat for lunch today, by the way.
I still haven't eaten.
I'm eating pizza. I already decided.
All right, I've decided too. I'm having pizza as well.
Exactly. Caleb Williams is going to the NFL draft. Henry, I'm calling it. Anyway, he goes out to champion. USC gets it done. Lincoln Riley, champion. Heading over into the Big Ten.
Comment down below which of our national champions are more likely. I think we'll see that we might get a few Michigan fans in the comments saying that you're an idiot.
You know what?
But
they can say it all they want, but guess what? USC winning the national championship over LSU. Book it. 14-1 national champions, the Trojans. Anyway, now that we kind of wrapped up our college football playoffs, what we think's going on there, let's talk about the Heisman Trophy. And lots of good teams going on here. Lots of good quarterbacks. Seems pretty much a quarterback award besides Devonta Smith. But
don't worry, Blake Corum's not my pick, so we can
relatively been a quarterback award throughout the past handful of years. Henry, take it away. Who is your Heisman Trophy winner?
So, considering I already know yours, Andrew actually does not know mine. He has no idea. Who do you?
I have no clue. I decided to share Henry mine just because I wanted his reaction before the podcast because he hates it so much. But
who do you think mine is before we pick?
All right, I guess.
I think I know who you're going to think it is.
Oh, I got a dark horse. Actually, no, that's bad. That's bad. I was gonna say Sam Hartman. Because I know you're high on Notre Dame.
That's not who I thought you were going to say.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to guess that I would say Jordan Travis, which is it's not who it is. The guy I'm picking didn't make the playoff this year. So it's not Alabama player, not a Michigan player, not a Florida State player, and not a Washington player. Although Penix will be in New York. I'll guarantee that. And I bet Jordan Travis will be too. I don't know my fourth guy.
Oh, Caleb going back to back?
Yeah, Caleb Williams is
my. Oh my God!
I think the dude's the best player in college football this year.
Yeah, that's why he's my champ, man.
Yeah, but your Heisman might be. You have your Heisman losing to him.
I have my Heisman losing because guess what? Ultimately, I think Caleb Williams is a better quarterback.
So, you think a guy who had 28 total touchdowns last year?
I think Caleb Williams will be the guy to pick apart that LSU defense in the national championship.
I think he's going to pick apart every defense.
Exactly.
So why is he
18 or more national champs? What else you want, man? Come on.
The Heisman.
No. Because there's another team that's going undefeated.
Who's your one loss?
You know what? That spoils it. Jaden Daniels.
Who's USC's one loss?
Jaden
I
Daniels.
forgot who you have him losing to. I might be putting
USC. Oh shoot! I gotta look at that again.
I might have. That's on me. I should not have put you on the spot.
No. It's fine.
I mean, we already know my natty.
I think I have them losing to Oregon in the regular season.
Gross. Dark horse.
If I'm not mistaken.
Wait. Okay. So give me your other three guys in the room.
finalists. All right, I'll give it to you, man.
I
All
mean,
right.
Caleb Williams got to be in the room, right?
Yeah. I'll give it to you right now.
I bet you have viewers in there as
So I'm
well.
gonna go Jaden Daniels as the winner. You know that. So what? I'm picking 3 others.
Yeah.
Got to go Caleb Williams. Got to go.
Like you're going next.
I'm gonna go Ewers and Drake May.
Yours, gross. Okay. Mine, Caleb Williams, obviously. Penix, Jordan Travis, Noah Kim. No, I'm kidding. Ooh. Can I give you a dark horse that might make it?
Oh
You
yeah,
might
why
know.
don't you give your 4 that you think and then a dark horse who you
Sam
like?
Hartman's my fourth, who I think will get there. Actually, my dark horse that like isn't a quarterback that I think actually has a chance to win it if they're like really good this year. Okay, 2 guys. Marvin Harrison's the obvious one, but I don't think that's happening.
Yeah. Actually, shoot. I mean, I
I'm
have
gonna
Ohio
go.
State as my number 2, but it's just such a quarterback award. I don't
I
think
feel
there's
like
a
he might end up there just because they're number 2 team. Because I don't think McCord is gonna be that good. But if they get there, I think it's Marvin Harrison has like 2,000 yards.
Yeah. No, you're right.
I think the underrated guy who's not a quarterback is Quinshawn Judkins, the Ole Miss running back.
You know what, Henry?
He
I'm
runs
actually
like 2,000 yards this year.
Yeah, you know what? I'm actually gonna change out my pick.
Like
And
winner?
no. My finalists. My finalists. I'm gonna change out Ewers for Marvin Harrison
Oh,
because
bless up.
you actually bring up a good point. And I have Ohio State going 12 and I guess 12-2 considering the playoffs, but 12-1, Big Ten champs. And the reason they're gonna get there is most likely because of Marvin Harrison. So there's no
Now that
way.
I think about it, though, I think that's actually like your USC pick actually makes a little more sense because I'm pretty sure that USC Ohio State game would probably be at the Rose Bowl.
Oh yeah, because the Big Ten Pac-12 matchup
But wait,
going
let
on
me
there.
think about that. Wait, who's your one? LSU? Yeah, that's probably because I think
Yeah,
it's probably one in the South So
right. So here's my updated finalists. I still got Jaden Daniels winning, but then I'm gonna go Caleb Williams, Marvin Harrison, Drake May in no specific order.
I actually like that aside from your winner.
Sure. And then also dark horse. I like Bo Nix this year. I like Michael Penix. Who else?
What about Noah Kim?
No.
Oh,
As much as I want to say as a Michigan State fan, I just can't. I can't get
worth a
myself
try.
to do it, Henry.
It's worth a try.
I can't. I can't
All
get
right.
myself to do it.
Noah Kim Heisman season begins. I guess when I post this, will probably go up Saturday.
Yeah,
So
this will go up
Kim
after
Heisman season
Michigan State's
probably begins.
first game. So we will see how Noah Kim performs. Right now, we are recording Friday before the game. So we got no idea how Noah Kim's coming out.
You don't
Maybe
even
it's
know if Noah Kim's the starter.
maybe it's Caden Hauser. I mean,
If Caden Hauser's a starter, he's going to New York.
all right.
You heard it here. All right. But that being said, Andrew, if you are listening to this on YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to this channel. And if you're listening on any podcast platform, don't forget to download, rate, and subscribe to this podcast. And we will see you guys next time on the Last Take Sports Podcast.